Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just lurk and hang out, and that's okay too. It's a Thursday night. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Lord Crashing is here, and Aristophan is here. Great crew already. Fantastic to see you all. Thank you so much. It's currently September, and just for a few more days, we got 25% off a 1 month sub, 25% off a 3 month sub, 30% off a 6 month sub, and gift subs are now 25% off. So if you want to become a subscriber, you could save a little bit of money. And if you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, you could do that. And that's nice. That's a nice little thing. Yeah, we're closing in on the end of September. I today was reminded that I needed to send out an email or a message to my patrons, soliciting questions. I had already had two, so that's why I was like, oh, I've already done it. I was like, I haven't done it. So if you're a $1, $3, or $5 or $10 tier patron, you're gonna get an email or you're gonna get a post from me tomorrow. Which is not the latest I've ever been. The 29th of a 30-month day is not the latest I've been on this. I have been, I once was like a day late because there was a PAX East was the last weekend of the month. And I was so preoccupied with PAX that I got up there. I had sent an email for questions or a message out for questions, but I had to record it. And I literally did it with a hoarse voice. I recorded myself on my phone just in the corner of PAX East. Like I found just an area where there were people and recorded my phone and then uploaded it from my Airbnb that night. Because I was just like, uh-oh, I forgot to send this out. Oh no. Yeah. And that, I think I sent it out like the day of the next month. Because it just hadn't occurred to me. And maybe my, Q&As aren't popular. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But nobody had said, hey, we didn't get one of those. And it was like, oh no. So what's happening tonight? Well, we've got the Sturm, the Heindree Sturm. So we're going to work on that. We've got the head done here and the body. We got to work on, and one of the arms is almost done. We got to work on the other arm. Then we'll start working on the legs and the weapons. We won't finish this tonight. Probably finish it on Saturday. I know what we're building right after that is another high grade from Witch from Mercury. This time a Gundam instead of just a mobile suit. So we're going to do that in the second hour. Wrapping up an anime, starting a new anime because the new season hasn't begun. And doing like the middle ground of a show that is like a 2-core that technically the first half of it is now done. And I am wondering if I'm going to continue or not. I don't actually know. I'm going to see what my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows are looking like come next week. And I'll make the decision there if I'm going to drop Helck or just watch it whenever. But we'll come to that later. Let me retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends in here for this stream. Because that would be nice. It would be nice to have a few more people hanging out while we're hanging out. Okay, and that's good. And now we will go to main. Here we go. Here's our kit. We're working on the arm, so we'll continue working on the arm. I did the hand. The hand actually comes like last, but I was just like, I just want to put a hand on this so that I get a good vibe of what it looks like. I don't know. I didn't need to do it, but I did do it. All right, so we're going to build the shoulder, which has some rockets on it. We're going to need 3 Cs, and we're going to have to put stickers on this, and we'll do the stickers once we complete it. So, look, you're going to see some overreactions about Twitter/X right now. You're going to see it. You're going to read things that people are saying. I'll say this. It definitely feels like an overreaction to a thing. There's one thing that feels like, I bet that's not going to be everybody because they wouldn't make money that way. But the other side of it, I'm like, that's just bullshit, probably. So, what am I talking about? Well, earlier in the day, people were like, oh, Twitter's working on a new ID verification, and you're going to have to take a selfie and upload a photo of your ID, and they're going to be able to keep that on file and send it to governments and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, I mean, probably not. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably not going to require that. Maybe for some sort of verification of Twitter Blue or, X Premium. Maybe X Premium is going to require that. But just like, I made a new account, you need to verify. Like, they're not going to ask people that don't give them money for their government IDs because they still, while Elon Musk does want people to give him money for a poor service, there are people at X that understand that this kind of business does not run on everybody paying. It runs on advertisers and ads being sent to the people that don't pay. And the people that don't pay aren't going to take a selfie and scan their fucking government ID. So I don't see that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm naive and they're like totally going to do it. And it's totally coming. And it's going to come for everyone. Because they're working on it. But it's the question of like, how are they going to use it? Right? Yeah, it's just... Because he's been talking about it since August. But it's like... Well, the big question is like, how many people are going to have to do this? Are they going to try to do this for everyone? These are things. I kind of want to see if it happens because I want to see people test out bad at verifying a real ID or not. I mean, so I will say that the company they're using does seem to know their tech pretty well. The company Authentics, which is a company based in Israel, apparently does seem to know their shit. Because it is possibly tied to their governments. But we don't know. We don't know, and that's conjecture on my part, and I don't really know. But yeah, the thing that people actually legitimately, not a lot of people that I were seeing were freaking out about that. They were freaking out about another thing. The other thing that, yeah, it's a third-party company and not a Twitter shit show. Yeah, it's a third party. They're not trying to do it themselves. They're going to poorly pay another company to do it. I got to put stickers on this, and I got to figure out where these stickers go. So let me do that now. The other Twitter thing that people were freaking out about is their terms of service are changing. And their terms of service is going to be like, hey, anything you post on Twitter is our property, which is already a thing it's already a thing. People are like, I can't believe they're doing this. I mean, he already doesn't pay people stuff already. Yes, he doesn't pay for things already. You're totally right. So it'll be interesting to see if he tries to stiff a company that may or may not be directly tied to the Israeli government. It'll be interesting to see if he thinks about that one. We'll see. No, the thing that people were freaked out about is that terms of service changes. Again, some of those are already in terms of service. That, if you post to Twitter, they own it in perpetuity, blah, blah, blah. Those things don't stand up well, and people don't tend to look at them too hard. So it's not something you really need to worry too much about, but, people are still freaking out about that. And the other one is that if you're writing stuff on Twitter, they can now just feed it to AI and sell it to AI companies. And it's like, yeah, obviously I'm against it, right? Like, obviously I'm against that. But also, AI models have already been doing that with Twitter. They've already been, like, scraping Twitter for data. Like, that's already happening. It's just now that Twitter thinks that it can sell that information, which it also probably already has. Like I don't know what to tell folks. Like the AI models are how do I say this? How do I put this? The folks that have decided that AI is the future and there's no point in you and anyone like saying it's not, the same people that said that about numerous things, all Web 3.0 bullshit, NFTs, cryptocurrency, all that stuff. The same things that people always say. When they say those things, they don't believe it. But that becomes the justification for bullshit happening. Well, it's like, well, we can't really fight it. You might as well get on board. And that's because they're like, well, I'm gonna just do it, and I don't see any problems with that. And so that's the whole thing with AI, is that it's here. Get used to it. Is kind of the MO. And they're kind of just fucking doing whatever. Like Google search. Google search is dead. Okay, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Folks that use Google to answer questions will now fundamentally 2023 onward until question mark will not receive answers that you can't just immediately believe, right? If you type in a question into Google, the top result is questionable. It wasn't always questionable. You now have to do your own research. You now have to add in like Mythbusters, see if they bust that myth. You now need to add in Wikipedia, see if Wikipedia is entering some information in there. You now have to go to trusted sources. You now have to see if somebody asked that question on Reddit and got a bunch of joke responses from people who are like, what the fuck are you talking about? As Lastbrook says, what do you mean, Pat? Eggs can melt. Yeah. So fundamentally, you can't use Google anymore like you used Ask Jeeves. You can't ask a question to Google anymore because you can't trust their answers. Calculations right now seem to be okay. Right now, measurements seem to be all right. But facts, as of right now, facts, CTS, seem to be debatable and up for question and totally maybe just not right. So that's fun. That's a fun thing that happened. Now, could Google change this? Actually, yeah. Search could figure out. It's pretty straightforward. But right now, Google thinks that certain answers are right, and those answers are not generated by humans writing on a website somewhere. So and it's also not going by most like searched answer. You know, like most like, oh, when this search was entered, people said, enough people went to this website and didn't come back to Google. Now, Google is like, okay, this should be the right answer. We're predicting this is the right answer, and we will not hear any different, which is not great. So, a bunch of shit's fucked up. Also, we should all get off of Twitter. I obviously am not going to give Twitter a copy or, a photo of my government issued ID. That's not going to be part of that's not going to be part of the verification process by any stretch. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I don't need Twitter for that. I just don't need to do that. I don't need it enough. It's a problem I've been thinking about. Nobody outside people using early internet really have any internet literacy. Our parents were telling us about trusting strangers on the internet, and now we're falling for whatever news they read on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, People don't know. People still don't know that the Onion is fake. Like, people still don't know the Onion's real. They don't know the hard drive's fake. They don't know about spoof sites. People get caught all the time. I just the other day saw someone fall for a Twitter account that was cosplaying. They were not cosplaying. They were role playing as a wrestler, and they were like, "Well, did you see what this wrestler wrote on Twitter?" And I was like, "That's not the real person. That's not the real person." Like, what? It's just a string of gobbledygook after their name. And it's like, well, why would someone do that? It's like, because for whatever reason, they like they like pretending to be someone famous on Twitter, and they just happen to say a thing that was inflammatory enough for you to want to share it, or someone else shared it. And it's like, yeah, it's I've done pretty well with teaching my mom about scams, right? And the number one thing I tell her is they're not going to text you. They're not going to call you. Like, the federal government isn't going to call you on the phone. They're going to send you a letter. Or your bank, a bank you don't belong to, isn't going to text you. And then if it's a number and you don't recognize it, you can look up that phone number. And they're going to, the results are going to be databases where they say this number is bullshit. Like, I've been fairly good about teaching my mom some of these things. Like, there was something where it was like Amazon was sending a thing, and she's like, "Well, I haven't used Amazon in a year, but," and I was like, "Yeah, no, but that's not Amazon. Like, you don't have." I was like, if UPS says that you have a package that can't be delivered, their website that they're sending you a link to is ups.com. It's not a bunch of weird stuff. And that is like, that has been somewhat of the literacy that I have been attempting to teach a little bit here and there, just because I'm around, so I can kind of help out with that stuff, which is nice. Fun little game I play with emails from corporations to see if any change their Twitter logo at the bottom of email to X, and most haven't. Microsoft has the X now. Yeah, a lot of like places that do reporting are saying Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, or Twitter, now known as X. And they just kind of do both. Yeah, there's an independent wrestling show that is starting up. And their website says, follow us on Twitter. It's like, yeah. So again, it's a lot of this stuff is rough, but we're gonna figure it out. Let's see. I want to say I'm gonna try to bounce between this sucks and this is cool. So here's this is cool. SAG-AFTRA put out a statement saying, to our members, SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP will meet for a bargaining on Monday, October 2nd. Several executives from AMPTP member companies will be in attendance. As negotiations proceed, we will report any subsequent updates directly to you. So they are going to the negotiation table. This is good news. Now, there's been a lot of conversation around this. Should writers go back to work on shows that have been struck for the Screen Actors SAG-AFTRA? If a show does not have a contract with SAG-AFTRA, can you return to those shows? Or if they do, if they don't have permanent people, like Late Night. Late Night's coming back next week. Should Late Night be coming back next week with its writers if it doesn't have actors? In the case of at least Seth Meyers, he is not going to have any guests. And it seems like, going forward, the shows that are coming back because their writers' contracts seem to be in the clear, that those shows are not going to have people who would be then crossing the picket line for the Screen Actors Guild. There's also a general belief that it seems like, now again, what I'm about to say here is not stuff that I read on Variety or Deadline, because obviously those are in the pockets of the studios. This is stuff that is coming to me from friends of mine within the industry. The AMPTP is probably going to fucking give these SAG-AFTRA what they want. It might not be the deal the writers got, but most likely they're fucking caving. Because they do not want this to be prolonged anymore. Now, does this apply to voice actors? No. That's a different company, different contracts. Also, I want to make this clear right now. I have talked about this before, but I must make this clear. SAG-AFTRA is not on strike against video game companies. They currently are in negotiations going into that. They could go on strike. They have been authorized by their guild. Screen Actors Guild has and AFTRA have authorized the negotiation committee to understand that if negotiations fall through, a strike can happen. They do that as a bargaining chip going in and going like, hey, and what do they have to lose, right? If they do go on strike, is that all video games? No. If they go on strike, Dirty just resubbed. That's 49 months. Thank you so much, Dirty. Gonna hit the old. Let's throw the emotes in the chat. Thank Dirty so much for 49 months. That's wild. Thank you so much for that. If the SAG-AFTRA goes on strike against the collective of video game companies that do negotiate SAG-AFTRA contracts, should you boycott video games, be it all video games or even the companies that are struck work? No. SAG-AFTRA has never asked for boycotts. That is in it. Now, is there a caveat to that? Yes, when talking about influencers. The broad spectrum of influencers don't do struck work, is the thing. The saying that was said on SAG-AFTRA, that was said at Writers Guild, that is paramount to this conversation is, specifically, if you want to be in the union someday, don't be a scab. So, now some people have felt very uncomfortable in their podcast, their YouTube, their whatever, doing work that was struck, covering work that was struck, because it can be considered by talking about a movie, any movie that was in struck, or a TV show, that you might be promoting, like talking about One Piece, the One Piece live action. You might be promoting those works, and if you are in a position of like that, it feels icky. And that is a personal choice. In the same way that if you want to, for whatever reason, not play a video game, you don't have to fucking play a video game, right? If you don't want to play a Blizzard game because Activision Blizzard just laid off a bunch of people, and so you're just like, I just fucking think that sucks. If you don't want to play a game from Epic because they just laid off a bunch of people, that is your choice, and it's totally fine. If you don't want to play a game because it falls under this if and when a strike happens, like, yeah, that's up to you. That's your call, and I think that's fine. But what we're not going to do is, if we see someone who is streaming on Twitch for 5 people a game that is struck work, it's like, nah, I think that, come on. Like, I'm not going after those folks, right? Now, if like Mr. Beast is in a video game that is part of this, and Mr. Beast is like going on his YouTube channel talking about this fucking video game that he's in, well, he can go fuck himself. Fuck off. Like that's what it comes down to. That's generally the line in it when it comes to those things. And again, most video games are not going to be applicable to this. Should more video game companies do union contracts? Should voice actors across the board for video games be part of a union? Yes. And you're saying, well, Pat, doesn't that fuck over independent small studios? It doesn't, because small movies still happen, right? They still happen even with unions, because there's non-union work and there's union work. But like an independent studio that's just making something for itch, people aren't expecting them to have union contracts, right? But if you're Take Two, you should have fucking union contracts for your voice actors. They should get breaks. They should get allowances. They should have assurances that there's not going to be AI, that their voices that they've recorded will not be used for future DLC in the form of AI without their, that has nothing to do with them. Stuff like that. Those protections make a lot of sense. They should be standard. But yeah, if you're like, I hired my friend to do a voice in my game, do I have to negotiate with the union? It's like, no, it's okay. If you're a mid-sized studio, there will be ways they will look. The thing about the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, is that like I don't expect everybody to know this, but did you know that if you were an AFTRA, if you're a theater person, the T, you're part of the T in AFTRA, right? You're American T, and you're doing work, and you're in the union, and you do union work, and then like a friend is going to do a festival, like the Frigid Festival in New York, and you get asked to be in it, and you're like, well, how many people have you asked who are in AFTRA? And they were like, you're the first. And he goes, and then you would be able to say, great, we'll get a waiver. And then in the program, it will say, there'll be a little asterisk, and you will say, appears courtesy of AFTRA. And that's it. That's all you had to do. All you had to say was, well, you just have to, we're going to get permission. And guess what? They'll give permission because they want actors to act and to get work. So if you're like, hey, there's a festival, apparently they're going to, like, I want to do it, and we'll do after minimums or below after minimums for that. And it'll be like, great, just make sure that, there's only so many people there, and have your do this, and this, which again is just mostly is just putting in the program and verifying it that way, and you're good. You just now you can have an actor in there, and that will also happen for small video games. There will be discussions, and there will be in a good world anyway. There will be a point where there are people who just are like, okay, this person who is a member of SAG-AFTRA will be appearing will do it for scale in your video game because you have a budget of X amount of dollars and you have a studio of X amount of people. And there will be people who fuck around with the system because there are always people who fuck around the system. And there will be cases where, you have to report it to SAG-AFTRA because you're like, actually the studio, they lied about the amount of hours they needed me for and whatever. And that's going to happen with small contracts and big contracts. And the whole union exists on the idea of getting you your money. It's pretty great. Because one of the things that's pretty fucking cool about SAG-AFTRA is that the boards of it, the higher up people in there, some of them are very successful actors and others are not that successful of actors, but they've been doing it for a very long time. And you're like, oh, Pat, like, what is that? Why is that good? Well, because they know what it's like to get fucked over by studios. They're on your side. They want you to get yours. And it works out pretty fucking well in that case. So a lot of that stuff I'm very excited about. I'm hopeful for a quick resolution to SAG-AFTRA. I am hopeful for this studio thing. I want more studios to go on board. I want more voice talent to say, I'm in SAG-AFTRA. You have to meet demands of that. I will not work without a contract. I want more people to go for that. I want to force the video game companies to have to play ball in that regard. It would be lovely. Now, short little thing. If you were excited about the game that seemed to be a bunch of different buzzword bullshit, if you were excited about hyenas, that is not going to happen anymore. Hyenas has been canceled. Most of that studio is gone or moved to other locations. Hyenas seems to be dead in the water. I did not play a moment of Hyenas, but I watched a lot of it. It seemed to be like there was a vibe to the game, but it did seem to be something where I was like, is it a loot shooter? Is it a battle royale game? Is it a like get in, get out game, like an extraction game? And I think the answer to that was yes. The answer to all those questions was yes, because it feels like it was like an amalgamation of a bunch of different things. And it didn't seem particularly focused. And that's a shame because people worked hard on it. I don't think it was gonna set the world on fire when it came out eventually, but it's a bummer. People worked on it and they won't have anything to show for it, and that's a shame. Which does lead into Epic. There's some shit. It's a bad day. Let's start with is this gonna be better? Question mark. It's probably not, but we can at least begin to try to answer that question of Epic sold Epic bought Bandcamp like a year and a half ago, and then they sold Bandcamp to Song Trader without the E. And that's probably not good. So, did Epic Games why did Epic Games buy Bandcamp? Some people thought, they want to be able to license music with that long catalog, and maybe they want to like make their store better because they'll like make Bandcamp, like use some tech for Bandcamp to make like the Epic Game Store better. And people had all these theories of, they bought Harmonix, so they're going to do something with Harmonix and Bandcamp and have them do together. And it's like, no, Harmonix isn't going to make anything cool ever again. Harmonix is a sports studio now. If they get to make something cool, it'll be an accident. Like, no, they're a sports studio. It seems like, and this is just my belief. This is my belief based on very little actual evidence, mostly a gut feeling. I think Epic bought Bandcamp so they could sell Bandcamp. Because they sold Bandcamp to a company that reportedly tried to buy Bandcamp before. And they met resistance to that. And then Epic bought Bandcamp and then sold it to the people that wanted to buy Bandcamp. And then they're going to license, and then Song Trader are going to try to license stuff on Bandcamp to video games and sound libraries and all kinds of other stuff. Now, of course, with permission, and you'll be able to opt out of that stuff or opt into it. But Song Trader is definitely going to try to leverage the vast catalog of Bandcamp to make money in licensing, which is the thing they do. Because, as been stated, look, I am not the first person to say this. I won't be the last person to say this. Very few companies exist because they just want to make a cool thing. And I should say, lots of companies exist and make cool things and do cool stuff, and it's fun and great. The companies that buy them don't buy them because they're like, I want to give this company that does cool stuff more cash flow so they can keep doing cool stuff and do even cooler stuff. Generally, they purchase a thing. Lord Crashman wants me to the dance button. Sure. Okay. Most often they purchase a thing to make a lot of money. That's basically it. The end. They buy it to make a lot of money. Or they buy it because they have money they need to spend and invest in things. Or the things they've been doing are great and they're making money and it's working and everyone's happy, except for the people who aren't happy because they could be making more money. And why aren't they making more money? And why aren't they making moves? Hey, why aren't we making moves? We need to be making moves, which is why I would say publicly traded companies are a mistake. And also, it just ruins things. It just completely ruins things. Publicly traded companies that have to answer to shareholders and have shareholders to begin with is a nightmare, because you can't just exist. You just can't. Just do it. Look at what happened to Unity after going public. Unity already was in a weird spot, and going public has not helped things in that matter, certainly. Now, do I think... So there are several reasons why companies would want an acquisition, right? Because sometimes they're not lying when they say we're excited about this, right? In some instances, it's because we fucking ran out of money. We ran out of angel investors. We ran out of profit. We ran out of work. This is how we survive. I'm thinking of like Double Fine. Double Fine would have continued to exist, but they might not have. And they might not have continued to exist for years and years and years. In that case, Double Fine is looking at things, they're going, well, getting acquired means we might be able to continue to exist. And so for them, that's the way to go, right? In other instances, it is, well, we can't grow any more than what we had here, and the people that own this want to grow. But the most common reason why companies are excited about being acquired and are happy about being acquired is because the people that founded that company are going to make a lot of fucking money selling it, because it wasn't about the company. They're excited to have a company that did well. They're excited because that company did so well that they can sell that company for money, and they can be on the board for a little while, and they can be in charge and help out with the transition, and then they get a big old bonus, and then they go start a new company. Like, people have said the worst thing that happened to Whiskey Media was when they sold it. And it's like, that's not the worst thing to happen to Whiskey Media. The worst thing that happened to Whiskey Media is that the people making it didn't buy it out from the guys that founded it, because the guys that founded it were always going to sell it. Maybe to a different buyer, maybe a different time, but they were always going to sell it, because that's what they do. They make things to sell it. They weren't interested in making a company that was going to last for 50 years. They were interested in making a cool thing and then selling it for a lot of money and then making another cool thing. Fundamentally, that was the thing. Is that everybody at Whiskey Media? No. But it was everybody with fucking money at Whiskey Media. The idea that, like, well, Screen doesn't do this or that. It's like, okay, but will Screen help us when we sell it? Anime Vice won't, huh? Well, we'll package Anime Vice with another thing. That's okay. Like, is this site that we're building costing us too much money for the return on investment? Is that going to be good? Is that going to look good when we try to sell it to other people? All that shit. Like, all that shit went to conversation, and it all fucking sucks, but none of it is surprising. So that's the reason why, like, when I interview at startups, startups don't like me because I'm in my 40s. And so I am not easily manipulated by bullshit. So that's the main reason why startups don't like me. But also, the number one thing that interviewers at startups do not like is when from me, your friend Pat, is when I ask them what the goals of the company are, and they say vibe, and they come back with a lot of fucking bullshit that comes down to vibes, and I go, no, like, what's your plan? What's your plan 5 to 10 years insofar as growth and the ability to sell this? Are you looking to sell this company in 5 or 10 or 15 years? And they hate that because they don't want me to think about that happening, the end goal of the company. They really fucking hate it. Because I'm not the best at reading body language, but I can read that fucking body language. You know, when I'm talking to someone and they're talking about their technology and what they're doing with it and where they're going, and you know, it's like, oh, we haven't done this, that, and that, and they're trying to talk to me like they're doing me a favor by talking to me because I'm an old weirdo, and I'm like, okay, but like, I'm like, okay, so what's your, you know, like your VC plan? Like, are you just doing angel investors? Is this you know, it's like, I want to know, like, is it one of you's lifelong dream to do this thing? Is this like, you know, are you borrowing money? Have you been angel invested for someone else? Are you solely interested in that? Are you talking to these people? Are you talking about that? Are you trying to leverage? Did you make this company for the sole purpose of selling this company? And that's, you know, where a lot of this shit comes into. Now, I'm not one of those people that thinks that a lot of this is fixable. I actually don't think a lot of it is fixable. I try to be pragmatic, but also a positive pragmatic. And it's very difficult in capitalism to do that. There are things that could change that would improve things, like dramatically improve things. There are things that can be done that would improve things. I think the number one thing that needs to be done is that I don't know how you enforce a stay of execution on layoffs after an acquisition. Like, I don't know how you legally in the United States require that to be a thing, where if you are merging or if you are acquiring a company, employees have X amount of time before they are laid off. I don't know. I do think that you can say that purchasers of a company cannot take out a loan against the thing they're about to acquire so that they are spending money they don't have and then saddling the new thing with debt, which they then use as an excuse to lay off and restructure that company they bought. Because if they didn't have the money, they shouldn't be able to get it. Or even saddle an acquired company with debts from other purchases, like how Toys R Us is only a thing in Canada because the people that bought Toys R Us saddled it with other debt from other places and then went into bankruptcy. I'm not saying Toys R Us was doing great. They got acquired. But I am saying that, like, it's fucked. That's a fucked situation. Yes, my high standards of maybe you should fucking have the money before you can spend the money. I don't know. I think some of those could be fixable. Some of those things could be doable and could be things that got changed. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure if any of those actual things would happen. That might be wishful thinking on my part, but I do think that some of those things are possible. Are they plausible? Unfortunately, probably not. Anyway, Epic sold Bandcamp and then laid off a ton of fucking people. It does not seem that they actually it does not seem like they actually closed the people that made Fall Guys, but they did lay off a lot of people from that studio. But it does not seem like that studio got again, I'm sorry. It does not seem like that studio got closed. But yeah, they cut about 870 jobs, which is depending on who you talk to, 16% of their workforce, which is wild. Also, their statements, because their statements aren't up to employees, their statements are to their fucking people who are excited about layoffs, because people do get fucking excited about layoffs because it means like their money might go up because they fucking suck. Basically, they were like, "Oh, we're really excited about the growth in these trends in our company," but they laid off people. Partially reasons why those things were successful, because at the end of the day, friends, it is important to remember, and it sucks to have to say this, but it's important to remember, Epic is not in trouble. These are not cost-cutting layoffs. This is not to decrease the bottom line. This is to increase a very small amount of people's money. Because some of these jobs, they will hire up, and they will hire young people at lower end jobs and give them more responsibility than reasonable. They will do whatever they can to minimize things. This is not Epic is in trouble. Epic is not in trouble. This is just, hey, it's that time of the year where we can let some people go and make more money doing it. And that's all it is, unfortunately. And it sucks. But layoffs are not a sign of inflation or a sign of poor business. Like, some people say, like, well, I can't believe that the people at the top are making bad decisions and the people at the bottom suffer for it. I can't believe we're still doing this. It's like, they're not making poor decisions. It's not like Epic is in trouble financially. The bad decision they made was being a public traded company that puts profits, puts immediate short-term benefit over long-term growth. Right? Like, they're doing what people want them to do. It's just the people that want them to do it suck and are in a completely different stratosphere than the rest of us. And it's not malfeasance. This isn't Unity, where the people at the bottom of Unity, like that layoffs happened basically in a response to people being mad at Unity. They were like, we have to pull back on some stuff and we're going to lay some people off. And it's like, yeah, that's malfeasance. That's the very top of Unity, the people at Unity making unbelievably terrible decisions and then other people suffering for it. But in the case of Epic, it's just like, yeah, having infinite money doesn't mean they're not going to lay people off, unfortunately. It doesn't mean that. It means they have even more people to lay off than other companies. But Tim Sweeney's like, we've been spending way more money than we earn. That's not that's no one's fault but yours, right? So that's the part where people are like, well, fuck off. Then stop spending all that money. I don't know. Maybe don't give away games for free. Model Builder is free this week on Epic. But yeah, maybe don't give away shit. I don't know. Like, people are like, oh, we gotta like tighten the purse strings. It's like, well, then stop buying. Why did you buy Bandcamp? There's no good reason for you to buy Bandcamp. You didn't do anything with Bandcamp. You bought it just to fucking sell it. Yeah. Ugh, just garbage. But they're gonna They're going to stabilize their finances by laying off a bunch of people. Sure, that always actually works, right? Yeah, sure it does. Just makes stockholders happy. And stockholders will look at in 4 months. Stockholders will be like, "Hey, can you reduce the amount of money you're paying in severance? Like, why do we keep why is this percentage so high of our payout going to severance?" It's like, oh, we did that for the you remember we did that for the to make money back. And they're like, I don't care about that. We'll figure out a way to give them a less. See, if they hadn't bought Bandcamp, they might have been taxed on having that money just lying around. Yeah, that's part of it as well. Some of that is that. But a lot of it is just they have to constantly be making moves because shareholders don't want to hear that, they don't want to hear that things are steady. They want the numbers to go up. Ugh. Depressing. Can be depressing. Also, yeah, Tim Sweeney saying, "Oh, we lost all this money. We lost all this money." That and also like people are just like, "No, you're a little stagnant. You're maybe a little stagnant." Because also like, yeah. It's also funny because they are certainly poised to be making new customers. What with them having, what with the possibility, the real possibility that they're going to have more sales of their fucking game engine because other people fucked up. But yeah, I don't take a lot of that for truth. I don't look at I don't believe a lot of that shit. Because it is just like empty talk, most of it. Their decisions to do that. But basically it's just like, hey, if we lay off these people, it'll make us more money. All right, did I do this right? Something is weird about this. I have to see what's going on. Did I assemble these parts correctly? I did not. I did not assemble, or wait. I don't think I assembled this right. Okay, I have to take this apart. I did one of the legs right, but not. Dirty says, got word today I'm not going to get furloughed Monday if the Idiots don't get their act together over the weekend, at least for the next month or so. I'm very happy to hear that you about that, I guess. Dirty, like, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully shit works out. Hopefully things work out for you and you don't get furloughed and yeah, people can get their shits together at that job. But yeah, sorry to hear. In general, but happy to hear specifically, I think. All right, so great. Now I got this part together. Now I have 2 parts of the legs done, which is good. Activision laid off some people from the Hearthstone team, although I may be moved to the pool of work without pay after 30 days because you're essential. Okay. Yeah, Dirty. I don't know. Good luck with all of that. It doesn't seem great, but hopefully luck is on your side for a lot of that. 10 people got laid off at Hearthstone, which is not a lot of people, but also the Hearthstone team is not as big as it used to be. They just put out an update today that was like obviously not related to this layoffs. That was like pretty fucking dope update that came out, I want to say, for Hearthstone. Pretty rad update. I was fairly pleased to see that. I was like, oh, okay, neat. They're banning some cards that I think suck ass. So cool for me. The guy that plays Hearthstone still doesn't put money into it, but still plays it quite a bit. I haven't put a dime into Hearthstone in a very long time. Blizzard president kissed off to Elon, said he wanted to stream Diablo on Twitter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, do you think anyone that is at the top of Activision Blizzard is cool? Like, maybe in the creative, but any business person at Activision Blizzard still? Those are not good people. You don't stick around Blizzard at the top of Blizzard if you are awesome. Yeah, so. Also, I bet Twitter streaming doesn't fucking work. I'm just going to go ahead and guess. Based on all previous indications, I bet that shit doesn't fucking work. Because I'm sure the tech is not there. Let's see. But yeah. Also, Activision, off the backs of Diablo 4, Activision is doing just fucking fine. Are they doing fine in general? No. Are they doing pretty good in because of Diablo 4 sales? Yes. Because despite what some people may tell you, Diablo 4 fucking sold well. Is it in the public consciousness? Maybe not. Is it something that people that play a lot of video games are still playing? Probably not. The people play video games in order to talk about those games are playing. That's what I meant to say there. Probably not. Does it have the cultural cachet right now that maybe a Baldur's Gate 3, which even despite being the third game, a lot of people are talking about being the like new hotness of like, oh, finally something new. It's like, it's the third game. It's good, but it's the third game. Everybody, come on. But yeah, Diablo sold pretty fucking well for them. It's not on quality. That's not me talking about quality. Just telling you. It did numbers. He's the one guy that got paid more to be co-president, the woman who has been there 20 years. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yep. They had to pay what he's worth. One last bit before we take a pause for the calls. One last bit of good news here. Just a little bit. Jade Cargill signed with the WWE. And I know, I'm only saying that because, one, great for Jade. Make that money. The fact that she had a final match. She came back after being away to AEW. Had a final match put over Chris Statlander with one of her best matches she's ever had. And got to like leave gracefully. And then gonna make a bunch of money in the WWE. Good for her. That's awesome. People are like, well, WWE has money for her, and they don't have money, but they don't have money to pay these other people. And it's like, oh no, they could have paid those other people. That's not why layoffs happen to big companies. The reason why a lot of people got laid off is they looked at what they were planning to do with them, and they looked at the money they're making, and they were like, why are we paying this person all this money to be on NXT when they have a main contract? Why are we paying this person all this money to sit home because we don't have any use for them? Get rid of them. Why are we paying this person who's been at our performance center for 4 years and hasn't made any improvements, and we don't think we're ever going to do anything with them? Release them. It's never like, oh shit, we're losing money. Because the releases came out the same day that they announced that next October, WWE SmackDown is going to the USA Network for way more money than Fox was paying them. It's never about money with these situations. And I'm sure they paid Jade Cargill a ton of fucking money. But also, they're expecting to make a lot of money off Jade Cargill. And then also, they'll release her if she doesn't make them a lot of money. So it's of course they have the money to do it. And it's not the same money. That's acquisition money. And the other one is expenditure money. And they're different things. They're not. But they're different things. They're not. But they're different things. Anyway, I'm happy for it. Wrestle Dream is on Sunday. We'll talk about that on Saturday. My big takeaway about Wrestle Dream is currently there are 10 matches. And I really hope at least one of them is moved to the pre-show because this is too long. There's too many matches. One of them probably won't be a full match because of shenanigans, but a lot of fucking matches. A lot of fucking matches lined up for Wrestle Dream. We'll talk about that on Saturday. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, please, at this time, throw your Bear Cave, Lego, Scythe, and Tier 2 blue emotes into chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. Through Cash Money. Reminder, it's September, so you can save money here if you are so inclined. 25% off a 1 month or 3 month or 30% off a 6 month. Gift subs are 25% off. That's another way to support me. If you want to join the gift sub leaderboard and save a little money that way, you can gift a sub to somebody in the community. That is another way to support what I do here. Excuse me. Whoa, sorry. There's another way to support what I do here through subscriptions, gifting subs, through using your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime and you linked it with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use that token on somebody. Consider using it on me, your friend Pat. You can also go to my Patreon at why can't I find there it is. Sorry, I couldn't find the command. Patreon.com/PatBear. There is a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. It's a rolling subscription, so if you join today, you'll get billed at the end of next month. You won't get billed again immediately on October 1st. So join my Patreon if you'd like. There'll be a Q&A that goes up tomorrow or Saturday. I think I'm probably going to film it tomorrow, and it'll go up probably late tomorrow. Consider joining my Patreon. Again, see that. I get a good cut of the Patreon, but, join in wherever you want. Or don't at all. It's okay. It's all optional. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. There's subscribing to my YouTube is free, and I would love it if you did. And then joining my YouTube there as a member is $2 a month, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So consider jumping in on the old YouTube. You could also directly just donate a couple bucks here and there through my PayPal or my Stream Elements or my coffee. Every dollar sent there goes into a fund. I take money out of that fund along with everything that I make through YouTube and Patreon and Twitch. It goes into a fund. I buy model kits with money from that. The next thing that we'll be building, the Elfrith Zhu. The Elfrith Zhu was bought pre-ordered. There's a premium Bandai kit that I pre-ordered. With your generosity, I was able to pick up that kit. It's our third Elfrith. It's the big backpack / punch arm. And that's going to be a silly thing to build. And that is going to be the next thing that I'm building. Let's see. Yeah. But it's important to note that the kit I'm currently working on was purchased from my Amazon wish list. Thank you very much, Aristofan, for picking that up off the wish list. If you would like to buy something from my wish list, which will jump the queue, get a dedicated YouTube video, be the next thing that I build when available, when it's time to build something new, I will build something from that. It like I said, it jumps the queue. Check out my wish list. I have some Lego sets, some model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits. I just added a gun tank. Can you believe I've never built a gun tank? I've built the gun tank early type, the pure gray friend. I built the gun tank early type, but I've never built the regular old gun tank. We just got raided by Puppet Jared. Welcome, Raiders. Happy to have you all here. Thank you, everybody. I'm Pat Bear. I've been doing my quote-unquote ad reads. We're just going to wrap up my ad reads because, we got raided, so I'm not going to do much of those anymore. Just to say, hey, Raiders, hit that follow button. That would be lovely. If you want to hit the follow button, I would appreciate that. I'm a model kit builder and a Lego builder, and occasionally I do other things, but those are the primary things that I do. I hope you all had fun watching bad or so bad it's good or so bad it's bad cartoons over with Jared. I hope you had a lovely time. Um, we're gonna get back to model kit building in just a second, but I do want to just do one thing while you're all here. I wanted to. And it's great that you're all here. I want to promote a website, a model kit store that you could check out if you wanted to. Friend of the stream, who was part of a model kit building thing that I did months ago, Kraken, that's over the Bish, Kraken Ichiban. And there's a promo code called Spooky, and you can get 10% off. Right now, that business, which is a small business trying to get out some cool model kits to people, and some merchandise, apparel and stuff. They're going through a little bit. It's tough. It is tough. They make most of their money at conventions. But this year they haven't made as much as they have in previous at conventions. So if you wanted to support a small business with some cool model kits, you can go and check out krakenichiban.com and use the promo code SPOOKY. This is not a sponsored ad, non-spawn. This is not a collective that I belong to of model kit builders was asked if anyone needed to buy anything and wanted to help a fellow small streamer and entrepreneur in the model kit space. If somebody wanted to help them out, they could use this code. And they said if you want to share it with with your community, you can share that. And so here I am sharing that with you. And if you want to, great. If you don't, if you want to buy stuff on Amazon, you want to buy stuff at Target or wherever you're finding stuff, you go into Hobby Lobby and buying some weird kits that showed up there, go for it. Do whatever you need to do. As Target today, they had many model kits on clearance right now. They have some $30 sets as low as $8. Yeah. I think that my guess is that Target is probably getting rid of the Breaker Battlelog kits because there are going to be new the build anniversary is coming up, and so there might be new build fighters, like build series kits. So they might be just getting rid of like back stock on stuff because they maybe bought more of the Battlelog kits than they were expecting. That's my guess. I don't know for sure. They could be getting out of the game. But yeah, if you're near a Target and there's any kits from the last like couple of years that you didn't see, yes, Lord Crashing does point out Target is also blaming theft for their stock problems, because of course they are. Because it's always about dangerous cities and theft, and not, oh, we took some bad beats and bought some bullshit that nobody wants. It's never that part. Anyway, I'm gonna drink a little water. We're gonna get ready to build here. Battlelog kits that can't get rid of. Totally. Yeah. Which is a shame because some of those Battlelog kits rule. I'm going to drink some water. We're going to dramatically transition the overhead. We're going to keep working on this kit. And then we're going to talk about some anime right now. All right. Raiders, you might not know this, but the second hour of every stream is anime talk. The new season has started this week, but there's only one new show that I'm going to be talking to you about tonight. But there's other shows that we can talk about. Now, sometimes I watch on a weekly basis and I give in-depth reports. I'm not going to get too in-depth because maybe you want to go back and watch The Great Cleric and you don't want to hear me talk about episode 12 of 12 of what is probably going to be the only season of The Great Cleric. So I'll just give you my big sweeping overview of this show, and you can see if it's something you want to go check out. The Great Cleric is an isekai. If you are unfamiliar with the term, I'll tell you what it is. The Raven Queen, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. Isekai just refers to a different world. In the case of anime or manga or light novels or visual novels or what have you, isekai refers to an anime where the main character is not from the world the anime is set in. Right? Now, it gets complicated sometimes because people talk about like the inverse isekai. You know, they're like Tenchi Muyo is it's not an isekai because everybody shows up and Tenchi's the main character. Everybody shows up to see Tenchi and they're all aliens or whatever. And so that's like a reverse isekai. And it's like, yeah. Dragon Maid. Is the dragon the main character? Then it's an isekai. She's not the main character. The main character is Kobayashi because it's okay, then Miss Kobayashi, then it's not an isekai. Great. Easy enough. Please call me Scene. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. We're going to panel line this leg, and then we're going to continue working on it here. So the Great Cleric is about a dude who died, and he got reincarnated. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to be a healer, because that sounds way less dangerous than being like an adventurer. So thanks, reincarnation god. Give me healing powers. And the show is him trying to be a better healer. Talking to some fun ladies, not discriminating against beast people, and therefore being pretty cool. Healing adventurers when often healers don't want to help out adventurers because it's all about the money. It's a fairly anti-capitalist anime. But in general, the main character is just like kind of a goof, kind of a weird guy. This is a perfectly fine anime. Some of the animation is not good. Some of the animation quality is piss poor. This was definitely a budget series. There is an episode where there's some flashbacks, and the flashbacks look so much better because it's just recycled footage than than like the regular episode. And it's just like, oh yikes, that was only like 4 episodes ago. Oh no. But the Great Cleric, totally fine. Some of it is like, I don't think there's going to be a second season of this show because they're like, and hey, that little girl from a few episodes ago, she can talk now. And you're like, that girl was in 1 episode. She did not need a like, oh, don't worry about her. And oh, this thing that works out. That works out just fine. And some sweeping changes happened in this thing. And when I tell you that those were sweeping changes to like a system in that world, from someone who read the manga, the Great Cleric is a really slow fucking read, and that would have been most of season 2. If there was a season 2, most of season 2 would have been them just like most of that season 2 would have just been like him negotiating with other priests in the church headquarters, basically. There's some decent action in it, some fun humor. It's silly in parts. There is CGI monsters, but they don't show up till later in the beginning of the season. So, it's not terrible in that regard. I'm a real, building for season 2 arcs. Yeah, Dirty, you could say that maybe the end of this was setting up stuff that was going to happen. But I will tell you this. It's really boring after once he finishes defeating the labyrinth. Also, the fact that they kind of breezed through it. I think they wanted 13 episodes and they didn't get it because they breezed through a lot of shit. But like that manga just gets really fucking boring. So, whatever. At the end of the day, it is a watchable anime. If you want to have it on. If you want to just like vibe and marathon through some totally okay anime, you could do way worse than the Great Cleric. Helck. Helck is a 2-core, meaning that it is a double-length series. There are going to be 24 episodes. This was episode 12 this week. I have not decided if I am going to continue to watch this show on a weekly basis, or if I'm just going to let episodes build up and kind of watch through marathon style, or quit watching it altogether. I have enjoyed Helck, as a concept, as a show, I have enjoyed Helck. But it has been diminishing returns. Because the premise is so fucking good. Helck's premise rules. Okay, the Demon Lord has been defeated. Before the show even starts, don't worry about it. Demon Lord's done. The demons are like, we need a new Demon Lord. How are we going to do that? We're going to have a tournament, a grand tournament, to declare the next Demon Lord. And one of the front runners for the grand tournament is a human named Helck. And his brother defeated the last Demon Lord. So what the fuck, Helck? And he's like, yeah, I hate humans. I hope I become your next Demon Lord so we can kill all the humans. And they're just like, hell yeah. And he's goofy. And the show is pretty goofy. Like, they're trying to fuck with him so that he loses. And he's like overcoming it. He's like very overpowered. He probably could have defeated the Demon Lord. He's just like, but he's also just seems to be like decent. And there's a lot of like camaraderie with him and like the other competitors, and he's winning people over, and people are just like, yeah, I'm starting to like this Helck guy. And it's fun. And it probably couldn't have lasted like that. It had to get serious at some part, but it really lost its fun vibe, and it's mostly just serious. And a lot of episodes I'm just like, oh, it's a little bit of a slog, which is a bummer because I enjoyed the first part of it so much that it's frustrating to have, like, basically in this episode, he's like, hey, if anything bad happens, here's a knife that could kill me that he gives to a demon because, you know, he's a human. And it's just like, oh, come on, Helck. What the fuck? And there's like ongoing battles and conflicts. And there's a moment where one of the demons like, yeah, imagine a world where humans and demons like are in harmony. I don't know if we'll ever get there. And you're like, ah, fuck. God damn. Because also Helck probably killed his brother and he's wanted for murder. Yeah, basically. Basically, it seems like the weapon he used to kill his brother, he still has, and he's like, yeah, if anything happens, you think I'm going to betray you, take me out. So basically, Helck is like a very fun episode 1, and maybe like the first like 3 episodes, but as it goes on, it gets heavier and like sadder, and I don't think that's a good thing. Like, I don't mind a heavy show, a sad show. I don't mind that. But I'm not super, but I don't like a bait and switch. You know what I mean? Like, don't give me a silly, fun romp and then be like, but actually, well, no, fuck off. Then start from the beginning. Like, add the humor in, but don't start it like it's good, like it's going to be fun the whole time. I'm griping, but that's my genuine feeling about that. I said that the new anime season has begun, and I was not lying to you. We got new anime, everybody. So I'm going to talk about the first episode of the new season, because I think it would be cool to chat about that. So I'm going to tell you about My Daughter Left the Nest and Returned an S-Rank Adventurer. This is another series that gets serious. It is fun. I know from reading the manga that this show starts off fun and gets a little serious, but it also jumps back to being fun quite a bit. And it also isn't like a comedy, like it isn't a bait and switch. Like, you kind of know going into it, oh, there'll probably be some serious stuff. Because it does start with a guy who is just retired from being an adventurer. Belgrieve. Belgrieve the Red Ogre, because a lot of people have nicknames in this world. Belgrieve is just like, he's not the best adventurer in the world, but he knows what he's doing. He's a good dude. He loses his leg fighting a monster. And he's just like, well, I guess I'm fucking done. Guess I'm just going to retire. And he heads back to the village he grew up in. And along the way, before he gets there, he runs into a baby that has been abandoned in the forest. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to raise this baby. And so he goes back to the village that he grew up in, and he's going to raise this girl, Angeline, as his daughter, which is cool. Good job. Like, good. All right. So we got a found family situation. And then let's flash forward 12 years. Angeline is 12 years old, and she's like, I want to be an adventurer. And he's like, okay, yeah, all right, sure. I mean, I don't want you to, but I know you've got your heart set on it because you knew I was one, and now you're going to be one. Okay. So he's like, all right, yeah, go for it. And she goes off to a city. Orphan City is the name of that place where there's the guild. I don't know why it's called Orphan City, but that's the name of it. And hey, guess what? Angeline, who is called the Black-Haired Valkyrie, is very good at being an adventurer. And I can tell you this, it's not made abundantly clear. You can kind of vibe it out, but I can tell you from knowing the manga, she's doing this to make her dad proud of her. Like, she's become the youngest S-rank adventurer. She's gone and done some cool shit because she's just like, my dad didn't get to be the great adventurer I know he could be, but I'm going to do it. And it's lovely. And then we get into what is the beginning of this show's big comedy stuff, which is a series of issues where our daddy's girl, Angeline, wants a fucking vacation so she can go see her dad because she's an S-rank adventurer and her dad is going to be proud of her, and she just wants her dad to spoil her and tell her that, like in person, that I'm proud of you, and to just, she just wants some time with her dad, right? That's the thing. But she's an S-rank adventurer. So she's got to go do a thing. She's got to go beat a dragon. She's got to the dragon was first. She's got to go do some stuff. Along the way, she runs into a noble named Saren Bordeaux, who becomes kind of important later, a little more important later. Well, saved that noble from bandits, but then her dad, she couldn't just leave her because her dad is sick. So she's like, well, I got to bring you back to your dad, and I got to make sure you get there, and that takes so long that her vacation ends. And then she's just like, but I want to go see my dad, and she's just real bummed about it because she just wants to do it. And that's like an ongoing theme in the show. Meanwhile, our guy, Belgrieve, he's been training. Like, that's one of his jobs, is to train kids to be hunters, maybe adventurers, but train the village children. And, they've been sending letters, but, he still wants to see her, and he's disappointed. And then we meet her other party members, because she's not in it alone. She's got other people in her party. She's got an archer named Anessa, and Miriam is a mage that focuses on lightning. And they're trying to cheer her up, and they seem to be all good friends and coworkers, so that's nice. And the big thing is, she's like, my next vacation, I'm going to come see you. And so it's odd because generally when we think of anime where there is, or, manga or whatever, where there is guilds and adventuring, we think they're just like, yeah, you just stop taking jobs. But I guess because she's an S rank, there are jobs that are required, and probably they're like, well, because of these benefits, you got to hang out here. You can't just go do whatever. You can't just go see your dad anytime you want to. We got stuff we need you to be doing. And I guess that makes sense. But I'm hopeful, that so this is kind of slice of life-ish. There's some action. I think the animation looked nice. I think this is a fun series. My plan is to give this at least 2 more episodes. Again, I like the manga. It's not my favorite in the world, but I think it is a fine adaptation. A lot of this comes down to what else am I going to be watching on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays? Because if there's a lot of stuff, maybe this will fall away. Just like Helck, like I don't know yet. I have to look and see. I'm going to look at my crystal ball, which is anychart.net, and I'm going to see like what else is coming up on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Because right now there's Wednesday, Thursday shows that I watch on Saturdays, and so I might have to move that around. I did want to say, while we're talking about new anime, that there was a new show that started today. That is the Red Flag Show. This is important, especially with some folks here that may be visiting still. It is important to recognize the warning signs that if someone you are talking to says their new favorite show this season is A Girl and Her Guard Dog, that is a red flag. You need to run. This is the Creeper Show. This is the show this season for creeps and weirdos. It's not every time, but it's often that the creeps and weirdos get their own anime. And look, do I like weirdos? Yes. Have I liked some creeps in the past? Yeah, minor creeps, that's fine. Personal creeps, sure. But no. I'm going to read you the synopsis of this, and so you will understand. I talked about this in my video about the season of anime, but so I will just reiterate here briefly. I'll summarize what's going on with this thing, because yikes. Isaku just wants to live a normal life, but as the granddaughter of a Yakuza boss, that's a pretty tall order. For years, it's been difficult for her to make friends and find love, so she decides to enroll in high school far from her hometown in hopes of a fresh start. But her plans take an unexpected turn when a worried member of the Yakuza, Kia, enrolls in the same school to protect her. That is Crunchyroll's description of this. And you're like, that doesn't sound too bad. Well, that guy that is, that enrolled in school to protect her, he's 26. She's 15. And also, she likes him. She has a crush on him. Because this is a romantic comedy about a 15-year-old girl and a 26-year-old man who pretends to be young to attend school with her. As I said, this is the red flag show of the season. This is the wait, what? Of the season. Yeah. Not, no thanks. A Girl and Her Guard Dog, like, already, like, what? I should say also that, like, that update came from Crunchyroll. Like, the original information was much more explicit in its garbage, because I had a screen cap of it. Like, literally today, that got updated when it aired on Crunchyroll. The got updated because originally, because AnyChart is using AnyChart, like, just like uses AnyList. AnyChart and AnyList are the same, and they usually use user submitted summaries of things. And the user summary was 15-year-old Isaku, granddaughter, third boss, wants to have normal friends and normal high school romance. Telling Isaku she's too young to fall in love, Keia's ready to scare off all the boys, but actually, she's had unrequited feelings for Keia this whole time. So the original description that wasn't provided by Crunchyroll was much more like telling you what it is, and now they're like trying to be a little vague about it. But yeah, that's the one to be worried about this season. There's always a few of them. Looks real, like real sketchy. Trying to see, let's see here. What are are there Tuesday shows that I'm going to be watching coming out? Oh yeah. Oh, great. So, the Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent Season 2 is starting up. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about that weekly because it is a season 2, and I don't often cover season 2s. But I might just talk about the first episode because I missed that show. I'm so psyched we're getting more Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent. That is a romance show with the trappings of like a romance novel style show with the trappings of isekai, just to get the characters introduced in the setting. But it is mostly just a very slow romance about like a young, a nice lady, a nice smart girl who is surrounded by hunks who are all interested in dating her. And she is unprepared, totally just completely shocked by this situation. Is unprepared for that. Just the concept of people being interested in pursuing her in this fantasy world. Oh, it's lovely. It's a drama, but it's still very, very good. All right, so we got our backpack here, and we got a panel on our weapon. Now is the part of the stream when I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What's got you going? We got some time to talk about that. I want to hear what are y'all into right now? You watching any TV? You watching any movies? You watching new anime? You playing any video games? I also, if you want, in chat, you can let me know. What would you be more interested in seeing next Tuesday for my bonus stream? Do you want to see, like, this fucking possum game? This, like, weird possum game? Pizza Possum? Or maybe Model Kit Builder, which is the model builder game, which I just got for free, so I'm thinking maybe checking that out. Maybe you want to see, we'll probably end up seeing it eventually. There was recently an update to Mars First Logistics, and that update is fucking cool because it offered Steam Workshop support, which is wild that there is Steam Workshop support in that. And there's also a creative mode, which is basically like everything's unlocked. And that's the only difference. And they redid the map, and the map is better. There's a bunch of small little quality of life changes in this first major update for Mars First Logistics. I'm like, maybe I want to play that. I don't know. But if there's something, let's say something between like Model Builder, the game, and Pizza Possum, if there's one between those two you'd like to see next Tuesday, you can let me know if that's, however you feel about that. Lord Crashington's been playing Palo Pines, a life sim where you're befriending dinosaurs that can help you do stuff on a farm. No combat, very chill. That sounds very chill. I like the sound of that. Watched all of the new Castlevania show. It's very good. I'm curious to see what direction the season 2 would take. Also played a tiny bit of Counter-Strike 2 and had forgotten so much about CS, the game feels weird to me. The thing about Castlevania, there is a Duder reference. I am not going to tell you what that is because it just came out today, so I'm not going to spoil it. But I am going to say that there is a reference to a classic giant bomb thing within that show. And I have seen the reference, and it is fucking dope. But again, I am not going to spoil it. I'm not going to tell you about it, what it is, but it's there because it's only been out for a day. But there is a lovely, cool spoiler, cool little reference that is wild that it's in there. Lord Crashington played Pizza Possum, which is fun so far. Beat it twice, though the big thing is to beat it 3 times in a row without getting caught. Yes, there's a replay of I've heard that. I did purchase that. Again, I don't know if I'm going to play it on Tuesday or not. My plan for next month is I don't know what I'm doing any of the Tuesdays next month except for Halloween. I can tell you my Halloween plans. Halloween will be on a Tuesday because we're doing with 5 Tuesdays next month. So the 31st, my plan is to play Persona 4 Golden with mods and try to make it Halloweenish. So that is the plan, is to do some Halloween mods. Maybe all of my uh, persona will just be the pumpkin guy, or Teddy will be in the everyone in the party who goes into a dungeon will use the Halloween costumes. There are also I should say there have been a couple mods since the last time we played in Persona 4 Golden. So we'll look at those new mods. But yeah, I figured I'll kind of do like a Halloween vibe, maybe with gear, maybe with personas, and just kind of do the Halloween spooky persona or whatever. And we just play that game again. That's going to be Halloween. I will say this. I have no plans currently to carve a pumpkin this year. I am going to break tradition. In previous years, I have done a pumpkin carving stream sometime before Halloween. Not on Halloween, usually in the lead up to Halloween. And last year, you may remember, I had an elaborate design and I fucked it up. And I was thinking about what I wanted to do this year, and I decided what I wanted to do this year was to not do it. So I made the decision that I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I am not interested in the moment anyway with doing another pumpkin carving. I really enjoyed it. I got too fancy, but I also I don't know. It was easier for me to do it in New York, right? Because I could do it like the week of Halloween. It would be a nice fun thing, and then I could do it, and then I'd be ready to take care of it, and then I could just display the pumpkin, and it would be fine. I can't really display the pumpkin anymore in the South here where I live, because I kind of have to do it immediately before the holiday. The pumpkins just rot almost immediately. It is too hot down here for a carved pumpkin for more than a couple days. And I'm just not interested in that. So I'd have to leave it inside, and I don't want to do that. And yeah. So there are more reasons than just I had a bad time with it last year. So I think I'm going to retire that. It could return someday. It could in the future. I could do it again, but this year, nah. So the 31st, we'll do Persona 4 Golden with mods, Halloween edition, and who knows? There might be some new mods by then too. I don't think there will be. Occasionally, people do holiday mods, but the mod scene is kind of slowed down a little bit. But it is but there's a couple that are fucking great. So, Shuffle Time Cats. Oh no, I don't need that. I went and clicked on it to see if there's anything new, but there's a two mods that I haven't shown off yet, so I'm excited to check that out. And also, by then we'll be doing Naoto's Dungeon, which is sci-fi. It's sci-fi. So it is kind of Halloween-ish. So that's a little spooky. That's a little thematically appropriate. So that'll be nice. But yeah, I don't know what to play next Tuesday. I haven't made my schedule for October yet. Of course, the second stream of the month will be Patreon's choice, and then it'll be at least one of those options. I might do this coming month, this October. I might do another Pat Watches Wrestling stream because it's been a little while. Those are always fun to do, so I might do a Pat Watches Wrestling. I might do a I don't know. Could do the wrestling. October. At some point in October, we're gonna get I'm gonna open up Steam to see if they put a release date out. I do know that October we are gonna get Jackbox Party Pack 10. Okay, Jackbox Party Pack 10 comes out. There's a demo, apparently, folks. I have not checked out the demo. Apparently, there's a demo. So that comes out on the 19th. So the 19th is a Thursday. So the 24th, we're gonna play Jackbox Party Pack 10 on the 24th. Great. So I know that. We will play that on Tuesday the 24th because it comes out on the 19th. So I know that, and so I know the last two. I just don't know what I'm doing the 3rd, the 10th, or the 17th. But I assume one of those days is going to be pizza. One of those days might be, will be Patreon's choice, and then one of those days will possibly also be what game do I want to probably try? Sorry, my brain just completely farted there. I'm like, what was I about to say? What did I want to say there? I don't remember what I wanted to say. Oh no, what's happening to me? Pokemon Black randomizer. We'll do another session of Pokemon Black randomizer because I really enjoy Pokemon Black. The randomizer run, we did one episode. We're still early on in there. We still haven't assembled our team yet, so we got to get back into that. That'll at least be an option for Patreon's choice, but that's good to know. I hadn't actually looked at see what date the new Jackbox comes in. It's the 10th Jackbox. We're getting a new TKO. I haven't been paying attention to the games. I know the demo is out. We are body complete on this kit. We still just have the weapons, one sticker, and the shield. You know what? Let's finish it. Let's finish this kit tonight, friends. There's not a lot left to build for this kit, so let's finish the fight. Because there isn't much left here. Like I said, there's one sticker. There's basically just the weapons and the shield, or the gun and the shield. So let's finish this off. We might go a little past 11. I think that's okay. That's fine. But I just realized we might as well wrap this up. Finish the story. Yes, we got to finish the fight, finish the story. Because, yeah, why not? Why am I going to be like, oh, we're finishing this kit, and all I have left to do is, one thing? Nah. On Saturday, we can now promote, I can now promote that on Saturday, I will be starting a brand new kit, which is the Gundam Elfrith Zhu, which I'll show you a photo of here. The Zhu has a backpack that is also a shield, that is also a punching arm, that is also a big gun. It's a big fist, but then you can just have a couple of the fingers out, and then it's a gun. And that's silly in a way that I can really get behind. It's a premium Bandai kit where the instructions are in color, which you rarely see in premium kits. They're usually the thinnest possible and always just all black and white. So to have a little color in there, I was very pleased to see. Looks nice. It looks like a nice premium kit. Finishing move, yes, indeed. So we're going to be building that next. It was very funny. My $10 patrons voted on what I was doing, and they voted for that, which is great. Because I had 3 options, and all of the options were Witch from Mercury kits that I recently acquired. I have the Ariel SD X Standard. I have, and I think I put the Schwarzette. Yeah, the Schwarzette's in there. I also have another kit besides that, I believe. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's all. No, that's right. There's all 3. All 3 of the options were all Witch from Mercury because that's the most recent show. And also, really fucking solid kits that I really like to work on. I love not having polycaps. These designs are so great. Yeah, this Heindree reminds me of the other Heindree, which reminds me of some of the other grunts. I'm not saying that each one is wholly unique, but I am saying that the non-polycap design is really solid. All of these kits have felt great and were fun to build. They're occasionally a little frustrating, but far less frustrating than other kits. I think that Bandai knocked it out of the park with this set and has just done a lot of bangers. It has been very fun to put these together. This on the backpack here is the beam saber. We're not going to worry about that. Oh, right there. That's the beam saber. We're not going to worry about that. But yeah, no, this kit has been phenomenal to put together. So I've been very, very lucky with good luck with these builds and very pleased with them. So if you've been looking to pick up a kit, I would say the Gundams, the Ariel, the Alfrith, they've been great, really fun builds. The Grunts are really cool. Michaelis I built not too long ago. I thought was a really fun design. And the Zwart was cool too, because that's just like a big green, like kind of like squarish grunt. I thought that was a fun build. But yeah, lots of good designs. I got the Swarzette now. The Calibarn is the one that I really want. That's the one that I would love to get my hands on. I'm glad the kit worked out. Totally, yeah. Thank you very much, Aristfan, for picking this up off my Amazon wish list, which is very, very kind of you. Now I get to build this cool kit. Yeah, this is a nice little 2-stream build. One of the games on Steam's best games for August is basically one of those mobile game ads where you get 2 gates to go through, offering different stat buffs or debuffs, called Arrow a Row. Yeah, I mean, look, we played Oh You Like Those Games. We played that on stream. There's a market for the games that they advertise, but it's actually real. And I'm not surprised that one of the best-selling games from August was one of those games, but for reals. That doesn't surprise me. Yeah. It's yeah, okay. People do want to play those things. Yeah, not the biggest shock, but cool. I hope the people that played that liked that. I hope they enjoyed that game. All right, let's get a little bit of marker on here. We'll finish this off here. Over 8,000 reviews. Yeah, sure. I hope people liked it. I don't know. Great. Overwhelmingly positive. Yeah. Hell yeah. I did not receive a code for El Paso Elsewhere. I don't necessarily expect myself that I'm going to be picking it up because I don't stream shooters. Right? It is a very cool slow-mo shooter, end of the world, kill vampires, a Max Payne inspired game that seems very cool and fun and maybe a little broken in places because they're trying to do some stuff. They're pushing some stuff. But I don't. You can watch Jeff Gersman play it and vibe with it. It's great. It is very funny that the studio that we played a game where we have played 2 of their 4 games. We played the game where it was the airport for dogs, or the airport for aliens currently run by dogs, and we played the game where you play poker on a boat with cute Animal Crossing animals. And we didn't play the one where you're a warlord in space trading organs, and we haven't played the one where you're killing vampires to then kill your ex girlfriend who is gonna destroy the world, who is a vampire. We didn't play that one. But I didn't ask for a code, and I didn't receive a code. So there you go. I could have asked for one. But that's not really the kind of games I play on stream. I don't really play shooters on stream, so I didn't go for it. But it does seem fucking dope as hell, and I'm happy for Strange Scaffold, the team that seems to work very hard on this nonsense. So good for them, and good for me because this kit is done. We finished it. We could have maybe postponed it. We didn't though. This is a lovely looking kit. It's just got style. It's a great grunt. I love a shoulder-mounted weapon. I like the main gun. Little bit of color, not too many stickers, just enough stickers. Very easy build. This is a stream and a half, so that's fun. Thank you again to Ristafan for picking this up off my Amazon wish list, which I appreciate very much. And that is going to do it for tonight's stream. But of course, we're done with the build, but we're not done with, we're not done, because we got to go on a raid. We got raided. So kind of Puppet Jared to do that. So we need to share the love by going and raiding somewhere. Are you as disappointed as I am that a video game called Cocoon has nothing to do with Wilfred Brimley or Steve Gutenberg? I don't know if that video game would... No. Because I think beyond the idea of someone turning those two movies into a video game is a very funny premise. But beyond that, I don't know. So, Dirty, I think I'm okay with it. I think I'm all right with it. I hope it's good. Let's see. Xander's playing Void Stranger. That's cool. Sebmal is doing a... You know what? We're going to raid Sebmal. Sebmal is doing a subathon, trying to raise some funds, and we want to support Sebmal for that. This is day 2 of the shenanigans. And yeah, by donating, you can extend it. So we'll show Sebmal some love here. Feel free to come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you stuck around from the raid, thank you very much. Hit that follow button if you haven't already so you know when my next stream is, which will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we will start a new model kit. But yeah, we're going to go raid. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope your weekend whips ass. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Bye-bye.